think the Beehive Design Collector's work is really interesting because they really don't fit into any one category. They kind of incorporate a lot of different things, and their way of sharing information is a lot more holistic and a lot more similar to like the way people interact and learn outside of institutional settings. Like they use storytelling, they use pictures, they use first-hand accounts of things that they've talked to people about that have happened to help make some of those issues more human to people. And I think there's always room for stuff like that within a university or within any community. It's, you know, kind of what makes people understand things in terms of like how does this relate down to earth to people that are affected, how does it relate to me, and just understanding things in more like real life terms.
And we're both part of the Beehive Collective, which is an artist, activist, all volunteer collective based in northern Maine. And we create these large-scale collaborative graphics that are anti-copyright, that are addressing these pretty big, complex global issues. And we're like trying to synthesize in very like metaphorical, visual terms these pretty big topics in a way that can be put on one big image. So it's to create the connections between all these different aspects of stuff that can be really hard to. So for this graphic, for instance, we went and talked to a whole lot of groups in the coal fields to talk about that side of the story of coal, which is what this is about. This is what our intention is with this graphic, is that it can live, you know, beyond us, and that folks can take this home and tell stories about this to the people that come into their houses or their community center or whatever, and that this is going to acquire new stories as it goes along. From left to right, it's actually moving through time. And this part of the poster, this sort of vertical strip here, is looking at the mountains in Appalachia, like where the coal is being extracted, like how folks were living on that land before the beginnings of all the coal mining that's happening there, all the industry that's coming there.
Like, it's pretty clear that this is really toxic and really, really harmful to the land and the people. So why is it still happening? What's the deal with it? It should be for recent history, right? So what started the impetus of this lifestyle was the beginning of using fossil fuels, really the Industrial Revolution, and the scale of everything in a lot of parts of the world, especially the global north, really changing, right? So that's when we're going back into here and looking at all the different types of resource extraction that are happening here, the history of the coal camps, which is a really intense feudal system and a really rich, beautiful history of resistance too.